Hi, I'm joined here today by naarm-based singer-songwriter, keys player, and self-proclaimed coffee enthusiast, Tillee. Hi.
Hi.
Could you please introduce yourself and your project to us?
Well, yeah, I'd love to do that. So my name's Tilly. I'm 19-year-old singer-songwriter and yeah, keys player. Melbourne, and I guess my project as of late has been all about Melbourne. Like I've been writing my music about my ventures in the city over the last 2 years and sort of like the friends I've made up there, like the people I've encountered, like the coffee I've drank, the places I've seen, just everything. It's really like been able to be imbued into my songwriting, and through that I've been able to like curate my own kind of unique tales of the city and been able to kind of design like this character, like me just going through Melbourne and like living out, my dreams sort of thing. Yeah, that's kind of all it is at this point, and I'm hoping for it to be more, especially since I've just like done one of my first shows in Melbourne last week. That was really exciting, sort of introduction actually into playing that music in Melbourne. So yeah.
Yeah, and that is exactly the next thing I wanted to congratulate you on. So, congratulations, your first
Thank
Melbourne
you.
venue. That is massive.
Yeah, thank you.
And the event you were performing at was called Pop Queens to the Front, which is
Yeah,
so cool. Love a bit of pop
yeah.
music. Love that branding. How important is it to you to have this community that'll band together to support up and coming artists like yourself?
Oh, so important. Like literally, when I walked into the venue, I just, you don't know what to expect. Especially, I never met any of these artists. Like this all came together online. So like it was really great when we all walked into the venue for like to put our stuff away. And then we came back after having some dinner, and then kind of everyone was there and we all introduced ourselves, and everyone was so lovely and so nice. And I was like really happy to be there. Then the first set began, a band called Rosie Quartz, and they were so good and everyone was just so supportive. And in that moment, any anxiety that I was kind of feeling or nerves for the performance, they just kind of went away. So I was like, wait, everyone's here to just have fun and support everyone. So I was like, this is going to be awesome. And it was. So I agree. Like, I definitely think community for like up and coming artists is so important, because like if everyone's kind of there to just have fun and enjoy it, then the artists are going to be more motivated to do more shows and more things. And everyone just loves it. Like, no matter what, everyone's really going to enjoy it. So I really loved that element of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so special. Like, obviously, I'm up here in Mianjin, could not make it to the show, but I saw all the videos on socials, and it's
Yeah.
just like, looked like people were really engaging with it, really loving it, which
Yeah.
is so special to see. I
Yeah.
love
For
that.
sure. Yeah. It was amazing.
And speaking of performing, speaking of your music, I've got to jump in here and say I absolutely love your track, Beyond the Walls.
Oh, thank
Amazing.
you.
It's got like the chill, but also like low-key moody vibes, which in my
Yeah.
head is like peak Naarm, peak Melbourne.
Oh,
I love it.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll contrast that and you'll jump to Nothing is the Same as It Always Was. And it's like, oh, we're
Yeah.
a bit more like a positive, upbeat vibe,
Yeah.
a bit
Sure.
different, a bit more dancey. And those two kind of like contrast a bit. They're kind of not the exact same vibe.
Yeah.
It leads me to wonder a bit about your creative process, your songwriting process. How would you go about crafting your music?
Yeah. For those two songs, I made them in year 12, in like the music production studio we had at my school, which I was like very, very fortunate enough to be able to be in that program. But we started with, we were looking at reference tracks. That was a big point of like how we did our creative process in that kind of like room and space. So the reference tracks really helped. We were looking at some like the 1975, Sky Ferreira. Gosh, it was 2 years ago, so I'm like trying to remember. It
That's
was,
so valid.
and even the even the Japanese house as well. So that like they were a really great influence too. Um, and just like the writing process in general these days, I've been able to kind of craft my catchier songs by like melody first and chords first. Like me and my band, like we've joked how all my music is so like optimistic and uplifting, with like the crotchets and the quavers, just really fast paced like chords on the piano. And I think I just, once I get that sort of in my head, I can like play that, and then I'm like, all right, then I can put a melody to that. And from there, once I've got like the structure with the instrumentation, I can kind of pick a topic, pick lyrics, and know that I've got sort of that like structure to kind of start with. So yeah, melody and instrumentation first, and then lyrics next for my like catchier songs. But also, there's been times where I've thought of lyrics first, and that's kind of set the scene for the story I want to tell, which is so important.
Yeah, it's just like whatever comes to you first, you're like, yes, I'm
Yeah,
pointing onto that. That's coming with me.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. And you mentioned a lot about writing these in school, which is so valid. I think my
Yeah.
school music department got sick of me loitering every moment in the practice
Yeah.
rooms.
Yeah.
And based in Naarm, obviously, your music scene down there is so rich, so
Yeah.
vast.
I
I
love it.
envy it so much.
Yeah.
And some of my all-time favorite acts are either from Naarm or started off in Naarm,
Yeah.
including
Yeah.
people like G Flip, Cry Club, Greta Ray,
Yeah.
who we both
Yes.
realized
Yes.
we're like in a massive fan group
Yeah, yeah, we
for.
are. I love that. Yeah, and Andrew McMahon as well. Like,
Oh
I
my gosh,
just,
yes. The list just like goes on. You're like, oh, a cool Australian
yeah,
musician. Makes
yeah.
sense. That's where they're from. It's like a breeding
Yeah,
ground for such
absolutely.
talented people.
Yeah, so
And I would
great.
love to know, who are your favorite artists doing amazing things in your local scene?
I love Holly Hebe. Like, she is I went to high school with her.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, I'm always telling people like, guys, I went to high school with Holly. But no, she's just doing amazing stuff. Like
Mm,
everything she's doing. Like, I love her lyrics. I love
yes.
her production. Just the way she portrays like domesticity like so
Mhm.
beautifully. Like, I was walking through the park listening to If You Were a Person from her new EP the other week.
Stop. That
And I
makes
just
me cry
yeah,
so
yeah,
much. Ever since I pressed
yeah.
play on it for the first time,
Mhm.
tears are running down my
Yeah,
face. I was
yeah.
like, nah.
And I just saw like the parents like pushing their kids on the swing and like dogs as well, because of course like the track's about her dog, and I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, this just soundtracks this moment so perfectly. And but she's doing incredible. Like, she's on tour with the Ryans right now. And they're like just absolutely amazing. She's been to China recently as well. And yeah, I'm just so in awe of her. And I went to high school with Matilda Pearl as well, and I'm loving everything she's doing. Like, I love her look and how confident she is, like with her brand. And her music, there's just something so like it's just so catchy. There's something so good about the catchiness of her latest tracks. I love Mr. Cool Guy, like that. That's just a banger. Yeah. But yeah, those two are definitely the first ones that come to mind when I
Mm.
think of local artists. Yeah.
And I love that because like they're already on such like a national level, even though they're
They
still like
are.
small indie artists. The scene, like even the Nam scene, but then the Australian scene, it's so interconnected.
Yeah.
I love it. Those are two amazing examples. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing those.
Yeah, no, of course.
Love that. And quick little last question from me. I am a music shirt and band merch fiend. Love them, cannot get enough.
Yeah.
And we have Oz Music Shirt Day coming up in just a few days now. Do
Yeah.
you know which artist you're going to be repping on the day yet?
Oh, I feel like I have to rep Greta. I have like multiple of her shirts. So I think it's just I feel like I say this every year, but also it's so right.
Mm.
But I also have Holly's shirt. So like that is a hard decision. I'm like, will I wear Greta's shirt or Holly's shirt?
You need to schedule like a midday alarm where you're like, right now,
I
I go
do.
home,
Yeah.
change my shirt, and then come
Yeah,
back.
true. I should do that. I should really do that, because that way I can get everybody in. It'd be great.
Mm.
Yeah.
And like Greta Ray is such a popular vote because I was speaking to a Mianjin-based artist called Serendipity the other day. I
Yeah,
asked her the same question. She's like, Greta Ray, began to look around Greta Ray's shirt. And I was like, so real.
yeah, no, she's awesome. I remember she was on a Zoom we all had with Greta a few years ago when Begin to Look Around launched. I just remember following her a few years ago. Now she's releasing all this music. It's amazing.
I
It's so
love
cool.
that.
The connections. The connections.
Yes, and like something you think is like so like small, just like, yeah, we were just on the same Zoom. No, that's actually like such important connections you're forging there.
Exactly.
All
Exactly.
from being a fan of like one of the best artists in our Australian scene right now, Greta Ray.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wish more people knew her. Like, her lyricism is just so good. She kind of inspired me to like she showed me it was possible to actually put places in Melbourne in songs. Like,
Yeah.
Summer's Heat, Brunswick Street and Happenstance, Brunswick Street and Fitzroy. I'm like, wait, I can do this too with my own significant places.
Yeah, and if you look at, on that note of like naming places in Melbourne in songs, Eaglewant, absolutely amazing example. Half of the songs on like Brunswick Street, I'm like, yeah, in my head.
So cool. It's awesome.
I love that so much. Well, thanks for having a chat with us today.
Yeah, no worries.